Showtime. Here we go. And we are live. Okay, good. Hello, everybody, our friends on the YouTubes and people listening and watching the playback. This is Still Comfy with Jules and Nat. And on this week's episode, we are discussing the rom-com holiday favorite, Love Actually. I'm your host of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, Julia Washington, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of race or gender and sometimes both. And I'm joined by my regular co-host, Natalie Katona, who I will let introduce herself now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Katona, host of To All the Men I've Tolerated Before, your weekly look at everyday misogyny. And although the holidays made me stress cry the entire weekend, I did manage to watch Love Actually last night because I felt like it fit the theme of just being morosely disappointed in the holidays.
And if you are watching, because we're using a third-party app to stream, we don't know you're here. So tell us in the comments, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, you can still respond to us in the comments because we look at those things and it's time stamped so we know at which point you're referring to. So to do a quick summary for those who maybe don't watch Love Actually as much as I do, here's the description from IMDb. Love Actually follows the lives of 8 very different couples in dealing with their love lives and various loosely interrelated tales, all set during a frantic month before Christmas in London, England. And it stars a lot of folks. We've got Emma Thompson, we've got Liam Neeson, we've got Hugh Grant.
If you can name a British person, they're in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. And even like local to Britain fame folks as well. Martin Freeman is in it when he's a little baby. This post The Office, pre-Sherlock, pre-MCU. Jeez, I loved him. I just love him.
Yeah. He's a little baby.
Please don't ever play a gross character that I'm aware of because that will drastically change my relationship with you and I can't handle that. So I just kind of want to dive in. There's 8 couples. I counted 7.
Do they count the musician and his manager as like the final couple?
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Or Liam Neeson and that random blonde lady.
Claudia Schiffer lookalike, who actually was Claudia Schiffer. Or his dead wife.
Oh, or the dead wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you want to do it couple by couple? Or do you want to do it stream of conscious?
You know, that's hard because they're all like the description says, they're all loosely interconnected. So here's the couples I have. Mm-hmm. The Prime Minister and Natalie, Jamie and Aurelia, Mark and Juliet. So the Prime Minister and Natalie, that's Hugh Grant storyline. Jamie and Aurelia, that's Colin Firth. Mark and Juliet, that is Keira Knightley and her the dude she did not marry.
Yeah.
Carl and Sarah, that is Rodrigo, what is his last name? I forget his last name, and Laura Linney. Mia and Harry, that's Alan Rickman and his subordinate. Just Judy and Jack, that is Martin Freeman. They are the couple who are the stand-ins for the porn, which we can talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
I listed Sam and Joanna, which is the little boy who's now a grown-ass adult, and his love interest that we don't
little August Rudd.
Yeah, he's so cute. And so those are the 8 couples the 7 couples I have. And then of course you do have Billy Mack and his manager, which I guess you could totally qualify because at the end he is like, turns out you're the one I fucking love because I just spent the last 40 years with you.
Exactly. And here's the thing, Bill Nye, only man I trust in this movie. He's the only one ever telling the truth.
I was going to say, he's so honest. His character is so honest. And what's interesting is that when I was watching the 20-year anniversary special with Diane Sawyer, they talk about how he was just a stand-in because that character hadn't been cast yet. So he was just a stand-in for the table read, and he did such a brilliant job. They were like, hey, do you want the role?
How dare they reduce Bill Nye to the stand-in?
Well, and he said, and you know, he's this accomplished theater actor, like most British people are, because they have actual academies and schools for teenagers to study this craft, and it's like a respected thing. And so yeah, I thought that was like the most interesting thing I learned from the 20-year special from Diane Sawyer.
I love Bill Nye in all iterations. Anytime Bill Nye pops up in anything, I'm like, oh, is he gonna get naked like at the end of Love Actually?
Well, he really is a brilliant actor, which and he's the opener. He's what opens the movie because they're redoing that song, Love is All Around, but it's like Christmas is all around instead.
The ghost of Hugh Grant opens the movie with this entire monologue about how love, like Christmas, is all around. And I'm like, in a very post-COVID, like meltdown, the world is ending mindset, I'm like, would Hugh Grant still make this monologue about how love is in fact all around? Because that's not what I'm seeing at Target. Hugh.
Yeah. Well, and they do have very specific locations that they're talking about, right? 2000. So this movie is in 2003. So we're 2 years after 9/11. And they do reference that in the film because I think 9/11 is one of the few worldwide events where the entire world was like, the fuck just happened. Not cool. And so placing it at that sort of space of the airport and the airport has changed so much, and how we behave in the airport and what we're allowed to do and not do in the airport has changed so much. And even since 2003, I don't know, but I think here's the thing. I don't know where we're going to start. So I'm just going to dive into what bothers me the most.
Okay, I thought you were about to be like a Love Actually apologist. Like, I realize that in our year of the Lord and Savior 2022, that we have decided that Love Actually is trash. But I'm here to tell you that I watch it every Tuesday for the holiday season.
Listen, first of all, okay, I'm going to address what you just said. I do watch it on Thanksgiving every year after with a huge glass of wine. Hello, Mario. We miss you too. Welcome to the show. It is an annual tradition, 100%. But here's the thing. Every year I find something new where I'm just like, well, this is just not great. This scenario is just not great. And this year, and usually it's the porn stand-in scenes. Because you literally don't need these characters. They don't tie into anybody but Colin Fissel's friend, whose name I forget, who's sort of like this connector in a way, but you really don't need them because they're not connected in the same way as like some of the other storylines.
And but yet they're the ones that I think are the only ones that take time to form a connection where they have things in common.
I don't know if it's frozen on all ends or just mine. There with us. There we go. Okay, so they're the only ones who are actually forming a relationship. Yeah. That's where you were going.
They're the only, like, they're thrusting against one another and whatever, but they're chatting about like their hobbies and their moms.
Yeah,
and then they
super
go on, like,
innocent.
dates.
It's super sweet.
I'm
they're
like
genuinely talking.
He like wrote when I've never seen anything more romantic than when they're like cup her titties and he's like, okay.
I know, he's like, hold on, but he also like, do you mind? He
also he asked for consent.
Yeah, which I love because the conversation of consent wasn't really happening in 2003.
No, Martin Freeman is our first intimacy coordinator.
Yes, he taught us all what we needed to know. This time around, though, what was really just like, oh fuck no, was all of the workplace romances.
Yes,
which 20 years ago, we were brainwashed into believing that's what you were supposed to do to have a relationship, to get booed up, was shop around work, because where else are you going to meet somebody?
In our capitalistic hellhole.
And the only one that isn't a subordinate boss situation is Laura Linney and Rodrigo. They're colleagues, whereas everybody else is a boss employee scenario.
It makes me so sad that beautiful man's name is Carl. Like, it just doesn't sit right back here when you're trying to make love to a Carl.
It's like
There's
that scene in When Harry Met Sally, you don't make love to a Sheldon.
A Sheldon? Like, there's just like this sensation right at the back of my throat when I say Carl. That it's never getting sexier than that. And he's a beautiful man who we don't see in movies very often. I'm like, where is this man?
He's a Brazilian actor. I think he's primarily based in Brazil. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken.
What? I started The White Lotus last night, and The White Lotus could use Carl from Love Actually. It's the perfect movie for him.
Oh, the season finale of The White Lotus is this Sunday, right?
Do I know? I don't know.
Mario, if you're still watching, you're the one who told me when the season finale was, and I told you I would start watching it 4 days before the season finale.
Do we only have one season, or do I have 2 seasons?
There's 2 seasons. Yeah, awesome. The second season started a few weeks ago, and I don't know how many episodes are in each season, but I don't like to. I want to wait until the end of. Until I can get through all of. Yes, it's coming this Sunday. Okay, the season finale of White Lotus is coming this Sunday, which means I will start season 1 on Thursday. 7 episodes. So maybe I should actually start it Friday.
I accidentally started The Sex Lives of College Girls when they were in like episode 4 of season 2, and I was like, "Fuck!" Now I have to watch this weekly.
At least there's 2 episodes at a time as opposed to 1 a week.
I have not caught on to that. I am, as they would call it, a moron.
Okay, so here's my next question.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister, a predator or a really sweet story?
Do you know?
Come on, bring it.
Because here's my problem with Hugh Grant. I would love my dream world. Like, if we could rewrite the timeline, this is the timeline I want to be in. I want Hugh Grant and Colin Firth to be these very bumbly, awkward, overly polite, I don't know what to do with my hands, let alone my face, men. Like dream.
Isn't that literally Hugh Grant in every rom-com minus Bridget Jones?
Correct. I just want Hugh Grant and Colin Firth to have coffee together every day and just be like, at the waitress. Like, that's all I want. But then we have to remember that when you and I were very young, Hugh Grant was one of the very first sex addicts that we were ever exposed to.
Yeah, poor Liz Hurley. She took it like a champ.
I have justice for Liz Hurley. So then, like, my mind's like, he's always tricking me into believing that he's a good guy, and here he is, like, fucking the help. But he's got those baby blues, and he's just bumble. and there's something about their first interaction where she says shit a series of times, and then it escalates to fuck.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, he's so cute in that interaction because there's like a little like, aha moment to him that makes me believe that there was a genuine connection. And then he's so awkward and I don't know what to do with my hands that I don't know where to place him on the predator list.
Well, because we know that his sister in the movie is Emma Thompson's character, and later when they're sneaking into the primary school, she literally says to him, 20 years ago you would have been his type. So that establishes a massive age gap.
Yeah, it sure does. And they refer to her as like the chubby girl, and
that made me so mad.
And they try to make it like Hugh Grant shouldn't be attracted to her. And I was like, she's the cutest girl in the show. And
it's like, when he's like, would we call her chubby? And the assistant's like, well, that's a pretty sizable ass. Huge thighs. And you're just like, Natalie literally says, I was dumped because my boyfriend thought my thighs were too thick. And now everyone's calling her fat. Like, are you kidding me?
Meanwhile, Hugh Grant wants some thighs wrapped around his face. Like, he's like, I can't wait to be crushed by those thighs.
And she's not even fat or like large. Like, she to me looks like your average woman of that age.
Yes. Honestly, the thing that I had the biggest problem
with the gorgeous face.
Yeah.
When she's fucking beautiful.
To the Hugh Grant romance is that I was like, I just feel like it's really irresponsible for us to be making national policy based off of you being fragile because Billy Bob Thornton felt up the girl that you like. I was like, but then we did dedicate an entire show called Scandal around that concept.
Well, and I think too, because there is this view that America is the bully, I think it for me it's always been deeper than that. It's always been like, you know, Billy Bob Thornton hitting on Natalie was like the final straw of like, you know what, you guys are not good for us, so we're gonna take a stand, as opposed to like it just being, you know, him being fragile.
And let me be clear, even from when this movie first hit the media, when they cast Billy Bob Thornton as the president of these United States, I was like, yes. I go, Billy Bob Thornton is the representation of every president we've had except for Obama.
How about how I have predator spelled wrong? Thank you, Mario.
I thought he was laughing because I'm so funny. He's laughing because you can't spell.
We all know I can't spell. This is not new. Oh, and I'm gonna add a.
But Billy Bob Thornton is our predator president. The fact that he hasn't even tried to run for president for me like blows my mind, because I was like, no, this is our truest representation of America and American men in politics, unless you are Obama, who was a baby angel and a ray of sunshine in my life. Right. Everyone else, Billy Bob Thornton. Like, it just autofills now.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. You know, 20-ish years, 19 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I love how he's so sweet about her. And I love that he's like, you know, just so, I don't know. I just thought it was
protecting her from that guy that wears Angelina Jolie's blood.
Yeah. Is this, so it's 2003. Is this the Angelina era for Billy Bob Thornton?
I don't know.
Interesting. Either way, now as a grown ass adult who's had, you know, several instances that could be qualified as sexual harassment in the workplace, I'm not comfortable with like your boss being attracted to an employee. Like I'm over that particular story trope, if you will.
Also, because I think this is a perfect segue into how I haven't watched this movie since Alan Rickman died, and it's because I didn't need this movie to be part of my grieving process, because I'm mad at him the whole
movie. And for me, that storyline was really hard, because he's kind of like, well, I'm just sort of going along following this woman's lead, where really it's like, sir, you're the boss. You have it in your power to shut that shit down. But instead, you're letting her do it. And being that person who's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing because I've never been attractive to super hot women before. What do I do now? And you're like, you shut it down. You're the boss. You shut it down.
Well, and my whole thing is, I was like, Love Actually should have been my first like foray into realizing that that's how easy it is to distract straight men from their like fully developed relationships, is like literally just sitting in a chair and like suggesting that your legs are open. That's enough for them to throw their marriage away
and buy you a gold necklace
and buy you a $300 necklace. Like,
honestly, Natalie, I wish it were that easy, because I used to be a very hot woman at one point and no one ever bought me jewelry that expensive.
But did you basic attraction them before lunch?
In a version of, not necessarily like
I just
full on wearing a skirt situation.
I just combined Basic Instinct and Fatal Attraction, but we all know. Like,
we all know what you meant. We all know what you meant.
Glenn Close in the chair, it makes sense. Sharon Stone in the chair, it makes sense. But like literally,
because Fatal Attraction is a man's worst nightmare, right? Yeah. And Basic Instinct is like whatever. But the point is the same.
Eye contact with him and then opened her legs. And Alan Rickman was like, Emma Thompson, who? Which fills me with rage. Like, the idea that Emma Thompson would ever be wronged, like, literally drives me to violence. I'm like,
So do you want to hurt Eric Bana? Because he cheated on her when they were married.
Eric Bana, how the fuck dare you? I'm coming. I am coming. Do not walk these streets, Eric Bana, and don't think that I'm going to not scream at you. You're not that good looking. You weren't the best looking person in Troy. Stop it. I'm going to find, does he walking these streets thinking he's safe because I didn't know that A, he got to marry Emma Thompson and
like
he
40-ish years ago
on her?
Yeah,
absolutely not. I am going to find him.
It was the late 80s. She actually recently just opened up about how hard that was for her and what it did for her self-esteem.
It's hard for me right now, Emma. It's hard for me right now,
but
Emma Thompson.
The other part that's really hard about that storyline is that they have this really beautiful moment about Joni Mitchell. And she's like, Joni Mitchell taught me to love. Like, you are welcome. Right. And then the gift he gets her is a Joni Mitchell CD, which is really thoughtful, but not the thoughtful gift she thought.
No.
And that makes me mad because it's like, well, what is, like, you are perpetuating this I'm a bumbling fool who only thinks with my penis trope.
Yeah. I love Joni Mitchell and I credit Emma Thompson to it because I'm obsessed with her. And she is beautiful and she's so wickedly smart and witty and all of it that, like, literally Eric Bana cannot walk these streets and not think that I'm going to give him a piece of my mind.
She's too good for him. She probably was always too good for him.
It's like how, who cheated on Minnie Driver? And I was like, that's it. I'm lighting the world on fire.
Matt Damon, right?
Matt Damon. Do you know how we say Matt Damon's name because they put him in that puppet movie? Matt Damon. That's how I say his name. I can't say his name the correct way. And he cheated on Minnie Driver.
Also a beautiful woman.
On the Minnie Driver. Like, I will literally just light the world on fire about
convinced her to be with his talent agent, which ultimately tanked her career for a hot second. I just finished her memoir by way of Celebrity Book Club, and so they recapped it. So then I was like, well, that sounds like an amazing memoir, and so I downloaded it and read it.
Honestly, like, the fact that I still don't have a chance with Minnie Driver and Emma Thompson, even though they let the Eric Banas of the world and the Matt Damons of the world touch them.
Yeah.
I'm going to light this house on fire. Penelope, pack our shit.
Well, I don't need you to be homeless, but also if you light your own shit on fire, it's not a felony. So I also don't need you to be a felon.
You know, when the violence hits, it hits. I texted multiple people who were not you last night that the mere thought that Alan Rickman would look at a woman that wasn't Emma Thompson ever filled me with violence from my toes to my head. It very much felt like when I thought I wasn't getting Taylor Swift tickets.
Who, by the way, a bunch of Swifties filed lawsuits from 13 different states against Ticketmaster about that whole debacle.
Oh, yeah. Because make fun of us basic bitches who love Taylor Swift all you want, but who's changing legislation? Who's all of a sudden rocking the boat?
Yeah. I do want to add, too, the Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman storyline. In the end, after the Christmas play, and she's like, I caught you, you piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very emotionally distraught because this is her entire life. That performance was beautiful. 1, 2, and then she has to turn around and make her children feel loved and supported and cared for. Like, that scene in itself perfectly encapsulates what it's like to have a full range of emotions when you are a woman.
And a mother on top of that.
With a family and a husband, like all of it. Like, that scene gets me every time because 19 years ago, I felt the emotion I felt for her. Fast forward 19 years, I'm a mother myself. I've had multiple relationships myself, and it's just there's no better performance.
You know what? I'm going to make Penelope write Emma Thompson a thank you card, because maybe that's why I decided to uncancel Christmas and put the Christmas tree up, because Emma Thompson had to be there for her kids, even though Alan Rickman is an emotionally stunted asshole. And Penelope loves the Christmas tree. So I was just looking at her crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put the Christmas tree up for you, because it is not your fault that everyone I share DNA with is an emotionally stunted asshole. That is not on you. It's not on you.
It's not her fault.
She's a cat. So she's going to write Emma Thompson a thank you letter, and that's how we're going to become friends.
I love that. Okay, so we talked to the Prime Minister, we talked Alan Rickman, and
also Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson seem to have a very strong marriage, and I think that that's what pisses me off more, because it's like, it truly doesn't matter how strong your marriage is if they get distracted.
Yeah,
and it's like, shiny.
And how dare you get distracted because you clearly love your wife. Like, that was the other part for me, where it was just like, I don't understand. Like, you clearly are in love with Emma. Like, what is happening?
And how far would it have gone if she did not know about the necklace? Because we knew where it was heading.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, I guess I'm a dick. Do you think, Sir Alan Rickman?
Do you think? Was he knighted?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I assume that they're all knighted. and to just avoid like insulting them, they're all Sir Alan Rickman.
Oh my God, I love it.
Sir Colin Firth, even in the hot leather pants from What a Girl Wants. Sir Colin Firth.
All right, so that takes us to Jamie and Aurelia.
I love Colin Firth, and this movie just makes me so disappointed.
Because again, it's another employee subordinate situation.
And it's another situation where she can't even communicate her consent to you.
Yeah.
You just like, you saw her boobs in like a department store or bra, and you're like, you are exactly who will make my ego and my penis forget that my girlfriend is fucking my brother right now.
Yeah. Parts of me this time around were still like, oh, this is still really cute though, because he's just like, it shows that, you know, okay. I know you're going to rip me to shreds for this.
Here's the apology tour.
I'm prepared for that. But here's what I love about their storyline. How it shows that you can still sort of exist next to each other and feel safe and comfort. And it's not like, and so like you know how music is like the universal language. It's like telling us that love is also a universal language, right? Like, it doesn't matter that there's a language barrier. They can parallel exist and still find comfort.
You sound like the parents that won't learn sign language when their child is deaf. It's like, why do we have to? He knows we like him.
No, I feel like that's different, because they both do in the end go and learn the other's language so they can communicate.
I just need you to know that the whole idea that like the vibes will send me to love, because it's just your pheromones. Do you know how many times I fucked a narcissist because the vibe felt good? I was like, this feels okay. This feels like it won't emotionally damage me for about 3 more months, so might as well do it now. The pheromones. I mean, that's gaslighting. Could you imagine how easy it is to gaslight someone who doesn't speak your language? You're just making up what that person is saying to you.
But they're not talking to each other. That's the thing. They're
just talking in the atmosphere.
They're near each other, existing around each other, and it's not unsafe. I think that's the part that gets me.
So you're saying that Colin Firth gets to be a romantic in this movie because he didn't sexually assault his housekeeper?
It's not even that he didn't sexually assault her. It was that he was in a position where he's just not a terrible person, Natalie. He's just not a terrible guy. That's the point.
Where is the bar in this situation?
I don't know where the bar is.
The bar is on the ground. You do know where the bar is. The bar is on the ground.
Because he could have taken his pain and anger out on Aurelia or anybody else, and he doesn't.
So he was a perfectly closed off, polite Brit man, and you're like, you know what? What a romantic. Let me get that bar.
I guess I'm implying there's romance. Okay.
Let me get that bar. The bar is on the ground. The bar is on the ground. Also on his end too. All he did was see her breasts. And he's like, and I will never think of anyone else again.
No, I think it started sooner than that. I think it starts sooner than that for him.
With what? With what context could it have started sooner than that?
When the what's-her-face introduces them, the person who coordinates it, I think he sees her and goes, oh, wow, she's really pretty. And like, rather than being like Hugh Grant's character, it's like, I'm fucked. He's like more polite and reserved about it.
So we're now ready to move on to that relationship literally only being based upon him being broken up with and her being pretty and accessible.
That's literally every relationship that starts after a breakup.
And where's that bar? So instead of saying,
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's a cultural norm.
So instead of using his cabin time to do circle breaths and grow and reflect and be all like, why do I date women who want to fuck my brother? Instead, he glommed all of what he wanted his original girlfriend to be onto a woman who is just there to clean his house and make his bed.
No, I don't agree with that. I
think not that he's even talk to her.
I think he's using writing the novel to work through his emotions and frustrations about that scenario with his brother and girlfriend.
I think thriller, the murder.
Yes,
book.
I think my theory is that his girlfriend is the one, a character that's like his girlfriend who was cheating with his brother, and his brother have characters based so on them. I know, but that's what writers do. You know what? That's what novelists do.
They create these characters. Do you know why he's a great romantic lead? Because he took all of his anger and crazy and put it in a book instead of killing his housekeeper, because that could have been the Watcher.
I'm not saying instead of killing his housekeeper. I'm saying that's what writers do. They take their emotions, they take their pain, they take
Jules,
everything.
I went to try to find the bar and it's gone. It's just it left. Penelope, did you knock around the bar? Do you think Penelope? I didn't hear her knock it. Penelope, did you knock the bar? It's on the floor. It's on the floor. And I love Colin Firth. I am team. What was my favorite part of Mamma Mia? Fuck the rest of that movie. My favorite part of Mamma Mia is watching Colin Firth look like a moron.
Well, that's what he does in 90% of the movies, because think about him and Bridget Jones.
Yes, and that is how they gaslight us, Jules, by looking like lovable doofuses. Because that's how Hugh Grant did it too. And then he cheated on Elizabeth Hurley. Who could have fallen in love with Brendan Fraser
redeemed himself by doing movies like Notting Hill and Love Actually and whatever other rom-coms.
And then do you remember how hard we made fun of that sex worker? Was her name Diamond? What was her name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Anyways, her picture is seared into my brain, because did we make fun of Hugh Grant for cheating on Elizabeth Hurley? No, we made fun of how this sex worker looked and that she was able to bag Hugh Grant. It's how they get us with the whole I'm just a doofus. Watch me try to wedge into these rock and roll leather pants, Amanda Bynes. I love Colin Firth. I am always on Team Colin Firth. I love to watch him bumble around. But I feel like their story is the laziest.
Okay. That's fair. Which begs me to ask, who is the least cringy couple?
I told you it's the porno couple.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
I love the porno couple. I think that is actually what a meet cute is.
Yeah.
And technically, I wouldn't even classify them as one of those weird workplace romances, because they're clear, because in that business, you're always on different sets. So this is the first time they've encountered one another at work.
Yeah. In this scenario, they are colleagues, though.
Yeah.
In this time and place, they are colleagues. Oh, so I didn't even have them classified as colleagues when I was listing off my situations. I was thinking of Harry and Mia, whatever.
Yeah.
Carl and Sarah, and then I was thinking of the Prime Minister and Natalie.
Yeah. No.
So there's actually more, because then there's just Judy and Jack.
Yeah, it's the porno couple. They're the actual ones who are like, this is funny. We have to be naked. And like, let me remind everyone in the audience that not Colin Firth, because I don't think he would ever be able to pull it off, but Colin Farrell, when they were shooting, no, it wasn't about Colin Farrell. It was another one of my heartthrobs. When they were filming that Alexander movie, Val Kilmer used to throw the lighting so he could rub up against a naked Angelina Jolie more.
Oh,
I remember that being a headline. Like, I'm like, so we're just talking about this?
That's so gross.
And
also,
now we have intimacy coordinator.
Yeah, but also I'm curious. I don't know a whole lot about the industry and how pornography is made. I just know that they have to take STD tests. That's what I know.
Also,
but I'm wondering how often do you have stand-ins like that to for lighting and stuff like that? So I'm confused by that.
This was a watch through, because this time I actually clocked him mentioning that he had stood in for Brad Pitt, and I was like,
for 7 years in Tibet or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like, so is it a porno? Or are they honestly just doing stand-in for sex scenes that would be in a movie until the actors can be on set and feel like they don't have to do this for hours?
Oh, that's a great
because it also looked like the porno with the biggest budget I've ever seen. They're like in Buckingham Palace.
So it's like maybe a period piece.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder if it's just like some smutty, like Bridgerton, like period piece. And they're like, well, we're not going to make, I'm trying to think of another distinguished English actress who isn't in this movie.
From that era, from 2003?
Yeah. Or just in general.
Oh, like Emma Watson or something.
So we're not going to make Emma Watson be rubbed up against by Billy Boyd for 3 hours. We're instead going to bring in these stand-ins, get the lighting right, get the angles right, and get the shots right. So when Emma Watson has to get naked, she only has to be naked for 25 minutes.
But also that's the assumption that you're working with a cast where both leads are the same coloring, so you can do pre-lighting like that.
Well,
because my sister and I, you can't do the same lighting on my sister and I, and we come from the same parents. You just can't.
Correct,
it's the whole thing.
Then they would have different stand-ins.
Right, which actually then brings to Love Actually is not a diverse movie in any way, shape, or form.
There's one black guy, and his friend is trying to fuck his wife. And I'm like, why, Rick from Walking Dead?
There's two. There's the one who's friends with Colin Fissel, who goes to the U.S., who is the connector for Just Judy and there's another one that he connects. But then and then the other guy, Sam and Juliet. Is that his name, Sam?
Yeah.
No, Sam is the kid. But yeah, I don't know how to say his last name, his first name, but he's very much of a substance.
I literally poked my brainstem out of the Colin Thistle part of the movie because I was like, I cannot sit through this.
But at the end, though, when he walks into like a Wisconsin bar and he's like, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're January
Jones."
So I was like, girl, I cannot tell you how many times I have been in that scenario. Not the whole we sleep naked in bed and you can join us shit, but the whole like, oh, that guy's from England. Let's circle and see who he picks.
The trope is completely valid. It's not the American part that pisses me off. It's literally everything that leads up to the America part where he's like sexually harassing like waitresses and coworkers and then is like bitching to his friend. I don't understand why I'm single. I'm so nice and charming. I told Brenda she was too fat to date me anyways, but I'm a nice guy. Like that's what I'm like, no. I was like, I will not. This is like pre Love is Blind. I shouldn't have to know that this is how men talk about us to their friends.
Yeah.
No, I had
Yeah.
to poke it out of my brain. I was like, we're gonna erase it. It's too traumatizing.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Mark and Juliet?
Is that Keira Knightley?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Because
this
that
where?
scene, it's Carol Singers. The cue card shit shows up in
Mhm.
so much stuff
So
now.
much shit. Like that's something that's cute. It's like it's not cute to betray your best friend by admitting to his wife that you're in love with her.
But you know what I appreciate about it is that he's like, here's why I've been a dick. I'm letting it go now. Like that's like I appreciate that he's not like continuing on. I appreciate that he's like, hey, I've been a dick because it turns out I'm in love with you, but I'm also gonna stop now because it's gonna ruin everything.
This is also where I have to break it to you that number one, I don't know what it is about Keira Knightley, but I hate her.
That's okay.
Like,
a lot of people do. I mean,
everything
she's not
about her
everyone's
face.
vibe.
Everything about her face pisses me off. Before we knew that Johnny Depp was an asshole, I believed she had ruined the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for me. Like, there are just people when I see them, I'm like, their face pisses me off. Edward Cullen and Kristen Stewart from Twilight, they piss me off. Like my whole body, their face pops up, and I'm like, I fucking just can't. Josh Groban also, I would punch Josh Groban in the throat, and he's done nothing wrong.
I find him adorable.
Sure, people do, and he has the voice of an angel. But Sue Sylvester one time said on Glee, "Fuck you, Josh Groban," and I was like, that's exactly how I felt the entire time.
Oh my god. Okay, so but back to Juliet and Mark.
So this is also where I have to break it to you that I do believe that love can be a choice, and there are certain situations where you pump the brake on it. Like,
yeah, I
literally,
don't
what does he know about
disagree.
Keira Knightley? She literally says, "You've never liked hanging out with us." So, like, he got hard once at a bar and was like, "I'm in love with my best friend's wife."
He doesn't have to say anything to her for him to be in love with her. Like that's, I think, something like being in someone's presence doesn't necessarily mean.
No, it's creepy. It's I'm also over. It's a very U-esque concept where I was at the bookstore stalking you, and we've never had any interaction ever, and you're marrying my best friend.
It's not that they haven't had interaction ever. He's the best friend of her husband, so they've had like I interpreted it as they've hung out a lot, and Mark is like, I can't do this because I'm in love. Like every time I hang out with you guys and she opens her mouth, I'm falling more and more in love with her, and it's hard.
And
so it's like a defense mechanism to be a dick.
Correct. But I do think that at some point you just pump the brakes on it. You literally date anyone else. Why
That's
are you
what he does. That's the whole point of his storyline in the
married
movie.
And he's caught.
But that's the whole point of his story, because it's like, well, you know, it's like how long I think it's not that. I think that getting caught is the point for him where he's like, oh fuck, I have to stop. I think that's what it is for him.
He's the Uncle Keith of this movie. Like, I've just been living my life, planning a wedding, going to trivia with my soon-to-be husband. His weird-ass friend doesn't speak to me and is often very rude. And then, just like Uncle Keith did to Karen, he shows up on my porch and is like, have you not noticed that surprise? I'm in love with you and you're meant to be with me. No, it's too, you should have taught. I need someone to page Penn Badgley because he would agree with me. I need someone to get the Gossip Girl dude.
I don't know if he would agree with you specifically about Love Is Actually, but somebody on Twitter did say to him like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Joe. I want this character." Da da da. And Penn Badgley was like, "No, you don't. What is wrong with our culture that this is deemed a desirable situation?"
So, and Joe from You is the extreme because he actually murders and harms people. But I am also saying that the Uncle Keiths and Rick in Love Is Blind are as creepy because they're just like silently in your vicinity making up these love stories in their head about you. And then one day you're just living your life and they're like, bah!
But
and
that's
then,
something that we are sold as women that we should want.
That was my
it's
next
you
point.
Want somebody to notice that you're adorable, to notice that you're intelligent, to notice that you're all these things, and to come to you and say, hey, I've noticed all of these amazing things about you that no one else has noticed.
And I'm saying that now is the time where I am always going to call this out as creepy. The Uncle Keith of the world and the Rick, that's not his name in the Love Actually movie, but he's Rick from The Walking Dead with a baby face.
Mark in Love Actually, yeah.
They're creepy. They are creepy people. Men who just sit next to you, glaring at you at trivia, and then one day show up at your house and are like, you didn't realize I was in love with you.
Glaring is a very specific connotation that aligns with being creepy. Like, I don't think, like, glaring is what Joe does. I think Mark is not glaring, because in that first scene when he's looking through his video camera watching Juliet dance and have a good time, he's literally like, Laura Linney's character literally pulls up to him and is just like, are you in love with him? Because she's sensing the love vibe and the adoration. It's not glaring.
And I am saying that on the eve of my honeymoon, if I'm just sitting around being like, yeah, babe, strain that popcorn, we're going to put it around the tree, and fucking Eric Bana shows up on my porch with cue cards.
No, if Eric Bana shows up on your porch, we've got other problems.
Right, because I'm going to get violent.
He's not been known to be a good person. Right. I feel like it.
If Owen Wilson shows up on my porch,
also a questionable person, Natalie.
They're all questionable people. I can't. Who are we supposed to pick? Timothy Chalamet? He's too young.
There's a list. Follow Dumois. She's got a list of people who have never been reported as being creepy or cheaters or all kinds of stuff.
It took Jeremy Renner's wife like decades to be like, now that this Avengers series is wrapping up for him, hope that Disney Plus show goes real well. He pushed me down the stairs, or whatever he did that I just always blanket at as pushed me down the stairs, because Christian Bale did that to his mother-in-law once. But I'm just saying, if Uncle Keith, if Chad Michael Murray shows up on my porch and I'm just living my life, and or even, because let's take it back before we're at the cue cards. If I am sitting in Chad Michael Murray's garage studio and I'm like popping that tape, and it's all these creepy close-up shots of me, I'm concerned. And she sat through that whole movie. I was like, girl, get up. I was like, women need to start having more self-preservation. I'm like, girl, get up. He's going to put you in that Joe cube in his basement. Get up. Because it's creepy. It is creepy for me to believe that I'm just living my life thriving, and you're just like, so, because this is what Uncle Keith does, and I'm pretty sure this is what Rick does too, and you're just like sulking on the peripheral of my success and my hot girl shit, and you're like, look at her do that hot girl shit, and I'm in love with her, but you've never actually like, and this is where it kind of differs with Uncle Keith, because Uncle Keith had like a father role in Karen's kid, so they did have very intimate conversations. But with this Rickman, and it's like, so you've never sat down and talked to me about my hopes, my dreams, why I'm so good at hot girl shit, whatever. You've just gotten a little bit of a tickle in your dick, and you're like, ah! And now you're making it my problem. I have to live for the rest of my marriage knowing that every time you're looking at me, you're thinking creepy, salacious things, and you have to be around, because how am I supposed to broach that with my beautiful new husband?
I mean, I'm not like going to bat for their scenario, but I do think that it's all about perception. You're viewing it as creepy and him being, pervy about his intentions, and not everyone sees it that way. Because when I watch the movie, while I, do think it's shitty for him to like pull her into the whole like, I love you, that's why I'm a dick, and now I'm going to be done scenario, I don't think that he's sinister in his intentions or his feelings for her.
But you taught us that we never truly know that. And then One Tree Hill taught us that even when you've had intimacy with them, the moment that you let them down, then Uncle Keith is creepy Uncle Keith. So Rick is also creepy. This whole scenario where we're just supposed to like be interrupted in our lives because some man has chosen to choose us. It's a very creepy scenario because I didn't have any hand in it.
But that's the structure of our society. So in 2003, that's a very romantic thing because that's literally what we are told as little girls. Like, wait until you're chosen. It's going to be your day soon. Like, how wonderful will it be when you get chosen by this loving, wonderful, amazing man? Isn't it so great that this man saw you and saw you for who you are and chose you?
But then also, that's why Love Actually has made other people uncomfortable for the last 20 years. We watched it and we're like, that's cute this Christmas. And then we watched it in our mid-20s and we were like, wait a minute. None of these people should be together at the end of this movie, except for maybe the porno couple and the second graders. And then there's a whole sexualization of children. And it's like, why are third graders dating?
Again, it's our culture loves to do that whole like, oh, they're so cute, they're boyfriend, girlfriend. And we don't allow for kids of opposite genders or non-gendered to be non-gendered, one, and two, to just form relationships that won't lead to romance.
And that's why the show is called Still Comfy, folks, because we took a movie from 2003 and went, Natalie, would you just want a man to never speak to you ever, but then one day show up on your porch and be like, I'm obsessed with you? And I'm like, no, we've all watched You.
Now, we've all watched You now, but right, 15 years ago, You was still just but a novel. I think You was a novel 15 years ago. When was it published?
Right. That's why we do the still comfy part where it's like, are we still comfortable? No.
Not even 10 years ago. It came out. It came out in 2014.
We are not still comfortable. We've all seen Love is Blind. We've all been through things collectively.
Yeah.
That like Emma Thompson is the only person who can do it. If Emma Thompson wants to watch this video and watch how hard I went for her about Eric Bana and went, that's a woman who's going to protect me till the end of my days and show up on my porch, she's more than welcome. Rick from The Walking Dead, no. Absolutely not.
Well, what that 20-year anniversary special with Diane Sawyer highlighted was just how much people still love this movie. So that leads us into, we know this film didn't age well. There's homophobia, there's transphobia, there's fat phobia, there's lack of diversity. But people still love this movie and go hard for this movie.
I need all of the apologists to come for me in the comments because I only hang out with people who have taste like I do, where they're like, that's a weird movie. It's a weird movie. And I'm like, you're right. Like we grew up, we all went through some relationships ourselves, and now we're like, love is not actually happening this Christmas. And so
I keep singing This Christmas, but that song isn't in the movie.
Because I can't remember the Bill Nye song. I can't remember it. Okay. And I've tried
Just checking.
I've tried to. I'm like, I know that it ends instead of love. It's like love is all around, but it's Christmas is all around. But around is in the middle of the phrase because it ends on Christmas. That's why he keeps fucking it up.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around us, and so the feeling grows.
Oh, there it is. And you know what? Bill Nye was all like, this is some crock of shit. And that's why he's the only honest man in this movie.
Have you seen him in About Time?
Yes, About Time
Fucking
is
love
the
that movie.
correct way that Time Traveler's Wife should have gone.
Yeah,
That is actually a
good
beautiful
movie.
love story.
So sad. I cry
Because
every
all
time.
of the time travel shit and like all of the sadness and all of his like obsession over keeping their love story alive doesn't happen until they're already in like an established soulmate situation. He doesn't go back to Rachel McAdams. Is it Rachel McAdams in both movies?
Yeah.
He doesn't go back to Rachel McAdams when she's 4 years old. It's like, hey, come here.
Well, and Big
Daddy husband over here.
He can't really, like, there's more control, and About Time they have more control about where they go. I think it's more than just a love story between Rachel McAdams and that guy who is very translucent. I think it also is a love story between father and son.
The translucent ginger.
He's a cutie patootie, but I can't remember his name.
What if he's friends with my new soulmate, Emma Thompson? You're going to have to get it together. You can't just call him the translucent ginger while I'm keeping Emma Thompson safe.
Not to justify it, but people have called me some pretty horrific things based on my racial identity. So I feel like if I struggle, it's okay. I don't know. That's fucked up. I shouldn't have said that.
Right. Because as you know, I was knee deep. I was elbows deep in the Love is Blind comments after the internet turned against the nib. And they were like, Cole's a cute white man. Clearly he was in the right, which I also feel is like Love Actually in a nutshell. Like, all of these cute white men said a thing, so they must be right. Like, so anyways, I was reading comments because I hate myself, and this beautiful, I didn't click on your profile, honey, so if you're watching, please don't take this seriously, and if you cry yourself to sleep tonight, I'll send you a t-shirt. But she wrote on Zenib's Instagram post, she's like, I really just feel like Zenib could have taken it better that Cole didn't find her attractive. Because I've been a ginger all my life, and do you think I'm everyone's preference? And I'm like, oh, you really hit that point right out of the ballpark.
I mean, it's completely different. Gingers aren't a race.
At all. At all. Weirdos.
I would like to actually see an updated version of Love Actually, because what I do think the movie does do well for those of us who are hopeless romantics, which is not necessarily Natalie in this camp, but it does leave you feeling like kind of warm and fuzzy if you remove all of the issues, if you transport yourself back to the 2003 rom-com vibe, because it's the first of its kind to tell multiple stories in a romantic comedy scenario. And being the stupid, hopeless romantic that I am, I do walk away being like, fuck, I just would love to be in love in a pure and innocent and sweet sort of way.
We did do it in a very cute way when we took 4 Weddings and a Funeral and made it a Hulu
same guy
original.
It's the same writer.
I know, so he's clearly taken a women's class or two. I don't know, maybe he's spoken to his mom and sisters and it was like, hey, what creeps you out and what doesn't when it comes to dating?
So, well, 4 Weddings and a Funeral came like 10 years before Love Actually.
The miniseries?
Oh, that's Mindy Kaling. The miniseries is Mindy Kaling. I thought you meant the movie, because 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Bridget Jones, what's the other one? They're all this guy who wrote Love Actually.
No, I thought that
Notting Hill, that's the other one.
When Mindy Kaling took the concept of 4 Weddings and a Funeral and she made it into a miniseries, and even included the cheating affair moment.
Yeah.
It's like how I could never get on board with the book series and the movie series, Something Borrowed, because Snow White from One Tree Hill, who's Whitney Cummings' best friend, and I love her, so I'm sorry I can't remember your name right now.
Snow White from One Tree Hill?
Not One Tree Hill, Once Upon a Time.
Jennifer Goodwin. Is how Jennifer Goodwin, just like, because she's the main character, she never takes responsibility for it, because our main characters are like in rom-coms are like just unfathomable. And then when like Kate Hudson shows up and she's like, clearly my boyfriend is here, and she's like, no, just his jacket though.
Like, I literally just saw a TikTok about it. I was like, man, I hated that movie. And I could never read the books, even though I guess the sequel is about Kate Hudson's character doing hot girl shit. But,
I mean, yes and no. I mean, because the book, what bothered me about the book to screen adaptation on that one is there is a whole chapter where Jennifer Goodwin's character does go home and is like, what the fuck is going on in my life? And I think it's her mom is just like, bitch, here's the reality check you need. Yeah. And you don't get that in the movie.
So I think what like Love Actually perpetuates is this myth that if it's love, it just automatically gets to be okay. Yeah. And I think when Mindy Kaling updated like 4 Weddings and a Funeral, we got to see more of the I made a choice. Mm-hmm. It turned out to be an icky choice. Mm-hmm. There have been icky consequences, and now I am working through these consequences. Yeah. So I think like Hugh Grant's like
there's a lot of elements of Love Actually in Mindy Kaling's 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Right. But there's also room for all of these things to develop where because Love Actually is just this like weird hodgepodge vignette movie, it's just like Emma Thompson forgave Alan Rickman, and maybe your tummy doesn't feel great about it.
Did she though? Because I feel like at that final scene where they pick him up from the airport, she's like, fucker, and like, welcome back, asshole.
I think she did the I'm forgiving you for the kids forgiveness.
See, I didn't get that vibe. I did not get that vibe.
It's something about like the kiss on the cheek and still meeting him at the airport or whatever. You can tell that they're not separated, and you can tell that she's like still trying. So she did I'm going to forgive you this much so I can be in the house with you.
I don't know. I didn't get that vibe. I've done a lot of things for my son, for his dad, but it's definitely not been like you know what I mean? Like the whole picking up from the airport, like, and I'm sure Drew's done the same for me too. Like we literally had a scenario where they picked us up from the airport, and spent the day together because we'd been gone for so long. And like, so that way the boy and his dad could have time together. But it wasn't like if you saw us, you would think that we were, a family and a couple, which technically we were a family, but we definitely had so I guess that's why I don't see Emma Thompson's character in the same light, because I've done the scenario where it's like our lives are separate, but if you see us in a moment, you wouldn't know that. Yeah. Because we vibe as a family.
Well, and I think my thing is because she does that switch right off the bat of like she's confronted him and now has taken care of the kids. My brain logically went, oh, she did I'm going to forgive you this much because we've got kids in the room thing. And that has carried on into whatever their stress intense dynamic is. Yeah. So I think Love Actually is just this movie that perpetuates this myth that like we don't question love. And I think this is how we all ended up in toxic relationships with the people that we share DNA with. It's because you're not allowed to talk to the people who love you about how their love affects you. And you're like, hi, hello. I'm a 34-year-old woman who lives on my own and has my own brain and heart. And I would like to have a grown-up conversation about why you can't say that to me.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is because there's this idea about family where you're just like, you don't question it. You should be grateful because it could be worse. And for those who have it worse, there's this perpetuation of like, you really shouldn't talk shit about your family because it could be like mine.
And I think we transfer that into our romantic relationships. Mm-hmm. It's not tomorrow because today is Monday. Mm-hmm. It's not even tomorrow if today was for Still Comfy Tuesday because it's Thursday. On Thursday, I am recording an episode about all or nothing thinking and how that presents itself in my relationships. And that starts in your families. Mm-hmm. Like we're all in. We all have each other's backs. Like, and to a certain extent, it's how you gaslight kids into never telling their teacher that you hit them once a week or whatever. But when you take that into a romantic sense, like Love Actually, where it's like, well, you know, I'll stick around because Alan Rickman and I have been married for 30 years, and like he didn't fuck the secretary. Or Laura Linney's relationship with her ill brother, and how that is now going to affect her romantic relationships because she can't be all in on Carl. And he's probably going to expect a little bit to be like all in on, which I'm sorry, I do need a reboot to see if Laura Linney eventually gets dicked down by Carl.
They did do a special for Red Nose Day a couple years ago, post Alan Rickman's death, and I don't remember.
Some dicking down for Red Nose Day.
Well, I don't know if they did some dicking, but they did like a Where Are They Now type of situation for Red Nose Day with the Love Actually cast, and the writer of the film, you know, wrote scenarios for each couple, but I think he did something special for Emma Thompson because Alan Rickman was no longer with us, but that does exist. But to the Carl and Sarah scenario, when she has him in her flat and he's like, and her brother's just calling and calling and calling, and he's literally like, will it make him better? And she admits that it won't and still answers the phone anyway. That was to me, that was just like so heartbreaking because it showed that she was too afraid to accept the fact that Carl could really actually truly be in love with her as well. And then also she found comfort in the toxic relationship she has with her brother and is unwilling to move from that, or the unwillingness is stemming from fear to move from that. And that broke my heart because listen, if a hot Brazilian were to be like, hey girl, I am so into what you are doing with this, I'd be like, peace mom, bye dad, see you family, I'm heading to Brazil. I'm learning Portuguese, I'm out.
Who fell? That's too bad. How inconvenient.
Though I also would like to be the hottest one in the relationship. That is something that is very shallow about me, but I'm not going to say no if a person I find to be very attractive to be like, I almost said rescue you from your toxic family, and that's not what it is, but it's definitely the like, listen, I will build a new family with you that makes you feel loved and comforted.
And I will complain about these bumbling, charming British doofuses for this movie, but you won't hear me say a bad thing about Carl. He handles that whole situation, and I think it's because we don't know where they end up at the end of the movie that I can still have faith that he handled that with grace and kindness and acceptance or whatever, because we've also been told that once someone takes their pants off, there better be a little bit of business or else you've disappointed someone to the point of no return, to where we made up a medical term about it.
Yeah. And I think that's why Carl's my favorite.
Yeah. He's so cute. He's so kind. He's so, he's for the most part silent in the movie. Yeah. And as we know, that's my preferred type. Quiet. Don't talk to me. And so you won't hear me talking bad about Carl or Martin Freeman because they're actually kind men who invested in the women that they were seeking after.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, Martin Freeman might be my favorite dude in the whole film because he is genuinely interested in Judy and makes polite conversation and is respectful during their entire situation and scenarios. And I just feel like that's who Martin Freeman probably is in real life. And it makes me happy because I love him in the MCU. Like, I just stalemate with it. There it is. I don't know if it was me or you, but I
heard that you loved him in the MCU. No, I am always team Frodo Baggins, mostly because I don't write fan fiction, but the fan fiction in my head when I'm alone in the dark in my room is that Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch make sweet, sweet love with one another, but he's still Smaug the dragon and he's still Frodo Baggins the hobbit. And it just anatomically works, and we don't really have to go into the science of it, but it's gentle, but also a little scary, which is also kind of what I did.
You know what I love about Benedict Cumberbatch? When he and his now wife announced they were getting married, it was just a simple statement made in the paper in like the announcement sections that used to exist when hard copies of papers.
Mario just gave me devastating news on accident. No, I did not know that Kirstie Alley passed away today.
What?
I'm literally finding this out live on the internet, and now we have to do Drop Dead Gorgeous, which is the one I thought I was worried the most about doing on this show. It didn't age well, but I can quote the whole movie.
Yeah, he posted a comment on there and I just now saw it. That's really sad. Oh, I might have to watch Cheers tonight.
Oh my God. I can't.
She's not even that old.
No.
She had 71. Cancer. She had cancer. That's really
She had
sad.
cancer?
That's what, according to Variety, she had cancer.
That's what Alan Rickman and David Bowie did to me. They didn't even give me like an Instagram inspirational heads up. So I mean,
Chadwick Boseman did the same thing. Nobody knew that he had colon cancer, and then the internet ridiculed him for being so skinny, and then 2 weeks later he passed from colon cancer.
And I need everyone to know that we need to collectively be kinder, because I'm tired of getting blindsided because celebrities won't share their struggles with us because we're not nice.
I'm going to say the collective internet. I feel like I would have been very understanding and posted and given her encouraging posts.
I know.
I choose to be kind on the internet. If I'm going to be a dick, I'm going to side text my best friend and talk shit there. I'm not going to do that on the internet.
Oh, can we do It Takes Two with Gutenberg?
Oh, I love that movie.
My sister and I watched It Takes Two for every day, multiple times for an entire summer. That summer it came out on VHS. We literally melted the tape.
I watched it in the theater. Okay, so you know what? Let's wrap up so you and I can both have some time to like deal with our emotions when it comes to.
We didn't even talk about Liam Neeson.
You know what? That's okay, because that one has to deal with grief and death. So we'll just, you know what? We'll just.
I do have a comment about Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Because Liam Neeson's wife, Natasha Richardson from The Parent Trap, died tragically.
And of the very famous Redgrave family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because she died tragically in a skiing accident while they were on vacation. When I do see clips of him in this movie, my brain puts in their situation, even though that's not the plot of the movie at all. I'm like.
And it happened years after this movie was filmed.
I know. And I'm like. Poor Liam Neeson.
Their son has said that did you tell me this? Who told me this? Maybe it was Mario. Their son has said that when he misses his mom the most, he puts on The Parent Trap because that's the most like who she really was.
So I'm sad. Liam Neeson also isn't a really bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, I think he's sweet.
He's kind of just mediocre.
Because of the age I was when the film released and the age he is in the film, he's not the one that I'm drawn to.
I will also say that this was the only time I paid attention to the funeral slideshow. And when he was clearly with that little boy, when that little boy was a baby, even though it's his stepson, I was like, why are you so weird about this kid if you've known this kid since he was an infant? And then like Emma Thompson is like, why are you being weird? And he's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like,
when he admits that, it was up to, his mom was the one who always like had those conversations with him. He never felt he needed to do that. And then now he needs to step up. Okay, so we're just gonna wrap because I can't focus because I really want to read these articles about Kirstie Alley, because that's so Natalie, tell everybody where all the things about you.
Are we doing the still comfy question?
Oh fuck yeah, okay.
Sorry,
I'm like having a hard time focusing. So yeah, go ahead. Are you still comfy? What's your comfort level? Are you still comfy with Love Actually?
No. Maybe if Mindy Kaling wanted to redo it and like make it diverse, maybe
a mini series would be good. Yeah, and a mini series rather, because then you can.
And a mini series rather, so I could feel emotionally invested into this obsessive love, because right now it's coming off as really obsessive and not a natural love that fostered between a bunch of people. I could be on board. But 2022, Natalie has seen You. And
I think the vignettes are, because vignettes were so new in 2020, in 2003, and now we have a better handle on how to succinctly tell vignette stories in a 2-hour period. I think if somebody were to step up and update the script, I think it could be done. I think it could be better.
So, Mindy Kaling.
Mario, thank you so much. I appreciate you for telling us anyway. It's okay to throw me off. I was already having a hard time with grief today because it's the anniversary of a friend's passing, and Facebook reminded me this morning. So I was already in a weird headspace about death. So, you don't have to apologize. Death comes.
I'm sure my sister tried to text me and my phone's just on Do Not Disturb. She is usually the person who will say, before you open your phone, another Glee actor has died. So you might as well know now. Because I should be cursed.
Yeah, and it's just been a lot. There's been and outside of celebrity death, I've had a lot of death happen in the last 8 weeks in my life. So there's just a whole lot of that happening, and keeping your shit together to work through is not always easy.
And to a lesser extent, my holiday cheer died over the weekend, so I'm not comfortable with this movie.
Yeah.
If Mindy Kaling or Emma Thompson want to call me for how we could flesh this out and make it better, I'm available. If you're filming a sex scene or a porno with plus size actresses and you need stand-ins, I also felt like I could do that job. So
I do want to add, for me, I want to say I'm not super comfortable with Love Is Actually, and I've actually had issues with it probably going on like 18 years. But I do watch it to sort of jumpstart the holiday season into the winter for me at the end of Thanksgiving every year. And I don't know if I'll ever stop doing that, if I'm going to be honest.
I mean, comfort movies become your comfort movies. I'm trying to think what Krampus, but also Elf. I love Elf, which came out when I was older. So that doesn't also the Santa Claus, which we canceled doing today, so we could talk about Love Actually. But the Santa Claus and Tim Allen, bad man.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's okay if we don't give Tim Allen a platform.
That's right, because Tim Allen, bad man, in case we didn't know. And if you want to know, it is Krampus Day. Happy Krampusnacht, everyone. And remember, Krampus doesn't care, kids, if you're a productive drone to capitalism. He only cares if you're an asshole, so he can put you in his sack and beat you with a stick. He's my preferred Christmas deity.
Nice. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find the soft, soothing tones of my voice every Thursday on To All the Men I've Tolerated Before. We are currently on our holiday break, so we are not releasing any new Tolerator content. But our season 2 finale, Jules was on with a handful of our other favorite guests, and we talked about women's safety and what that looks like due to our society. And last week we did Now and Then for Still Comfy, and this week we're doing Mamma Mia. So you'll hear me talk nicely about Colin Firth for Mamma Mia. What are you doing?
That was me doing my
dance Mamma Mia?
For Mamma Mia. Yeah. Exactly that. And tomorrow night, friends, over on Instagram, Natalie and I will be discussing the next episodes 5 and 6 of The Crown. And that will be on Instagram live at 4:30, episodes 5 and 6. So far, The Crown has been a snooze fest. And that is everyone. The general consensus of the internet. So I feel like we're not alone. Also this week on Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, our episode that's dropping Wednesday is Loot. It's about the Apple Plus original series that stars Maya Rudolph. And the premise is this woman receives millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in a divorce settlement, and it rings familiar of Mackenzie Scott and Jeff Bezos's divorce, but it has a very different turn and a lot of comedic elements. And it stars, like I said, Maya Rudolph and Michaela J. Rodriguez. I think Ron Funches, bunch of people. Super fun. And
but hey, to plug that show tomorrow for Tuesday, good news, everyone. I'm back in on The Crown. And you want to know why? Because I come from a long, long line of basic white bitches, and I love the Romanovs, and I pretend to know a lot about the Romanovs. So if you want to hear all the connections I've made to the Grand Duchess Anastasia, you're going to want to tune in tomorrow on Instagram, because they open episode 6 of The Crown with murdering the Romanovs. And I texted Jules, like, you didn't warn me that all of my Romanov trauma was going to get triggered.
Yeah, you know that he wasn't a very humanitarian, right? Like, he was actually probably
Nikolai Romanov?
Yeah.
No, I have read and listened and watched so many things about the Romanovs.
Okay.
That I truly understand that he was a little scamp who got put into a job that he didn't deserve, nor should he have had. The tragedy for the Romanovs for me is that there was an entire family of young women and children and a little broken boy who were murdered because their father couldn't get his shit together.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Let's say he as a person probably had it coming in that era.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
Yeah. But absolutely, you're right. It's sad that the children were victim too. As well.
I was sunk line and sinker to that Meg Ryan Anastasia cartoon. And when it came out that she may have been found alive, I was like, I'm here. I'm waiting.
Okay, friends, we will not be back with a movie Still Comfy until 2023. So stay tuned for announcements regarding that. But you can catch us on Instagram, Talking the Crown. And Natalie, why don't you say our closing tag?
Hey, everyone, the holidays are hard. So I just want you to remember to stay cozy and stay comfy.
See you next time, friends.